mark okay with you? I'll pick 3. Friday evening, place is filling up quickly. If you got an opportunity to stretch your legs and get out and about, we invite you to join us, as this is going to be a big non-conference matchup as the Defiance Bulldogs looking to pick up their first victory of the season, 0-2 on the young season, led by head coach Bryn Lehman. They are welcoming the Paulding Panthers. First-year coach Logan Stoller. His Panthers are 2-1 out of the Green Meadows Conference. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us this evening on DCTV. It is the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show as we are about 8 minutes away from tip-off here this evening. The Bulldogs hoping a little home cooking will be just what the doctor ordered to pick up their first win of the season. We'll take a look at starting lineups. We'll take a look at what is up next on the schedule for both these teams, as it's going to be a very busy weekend. As a matter of fact, less than 24 hours, and both these two teams will be back on individual courts. The Bulldogs will be back here again tomorrow night versus Rossford. The Panthers will be on the road at Pettisville. Bren Lehman, of course, the next in a long line of tradition-rich family coaches. As a matter of fact, proud dad is sitting in the top row, checking down. Watching tonight, I asked him, I said, how is it to watch from a different perspective? And he goes, no easier, but he goes, I don't have to worry about anything else except calling it from the stands. But he said that with a wink and a smile, a little tongue and cheek. On the flip side, Logan Stoller in his first year at the helm of Paulding. Both of these coaches, standout athletes at their respective alma maters. Both of them stretched their legs, but then both have returned to their alma maters to take over the next phase of their careers, and that as of head coach. Well, we've got seniors versus underclassmen. A dominant upperclassmen roster for the Bulldogs. We'll take a look at the starting lineups in just a second. For the Panthers, very young. As a matter of fact, a couple of underclassmen, but it doesn't mean untalented, as we're going to see some very good athletes take the field here this evening. What we need to do is take a quick timeout. You are watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We'll have starting lineups for you on the other end of this. We welcome you back to Defiance High School Gymnasium, about 4.5 minutes away from tip-off here this evening. The Bulldogs at 0-2 on the young season, hosting the Paulding Panthers at 2-1. Let's go ahead and get you the starting lineups here this evening. Baker Schindler Company. They are courtesy of Baker Schindler Company. Let's start for the host Bulldogs, led by Bren Lehman and company. At the point guard, it will be Antonio Lopez, a 5'10 senior. Lopez, again, the leading scorer. He dropped 20 points in the season opener. A tough loss at Findlay a week ago, 68-39. At your shooting guard, it will be Jordan Wright. Wright stands in at 5'10", a sophomore. At the three, the swing. He's part guard, he's part small forward, Brez Ziffel. Ziffel, a 6'2 junior, did not go out for basketball last season. The starting quarterback on the football team said he watched from the stands a season ago, and he just couldn't handle it. So he decided to go out again this season and help his teammates out. The front court, now you're starting to get into the size a little bit. At your power forward, it will be Khalil Ligon. Ligon, 6'3", and a junior. Again, Ligon averaging about 9 points per ball game through the first couple. And in the middle, Brogan Castillo. Castillo, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Castillo averaging 10 points per ball game. On the flip side for the Panthers, they will send the following 5 onto the court. At point, it will be Casey Agler. a 5'11 senior. He is a distributor. He's a drive and dish first point guard. Blake Roanhouse, a 6-foot sophomore, dropped 10 points in the season opener against Continental. Again, a starter at just a sophomore. Tyler Mance will be your 3-man. Titus Mance. Mance, a 5'9 senior. Kane Jones, just an incredibly explosive athlete, will be your power forward, a 6-foot junior. Jones can score in many different ways. He's a beautiful spot-up jump shot. And in the middle, Grady Barton. Barton, just a sophomore at 6'3", at about 220 pounds, a double-double in his first varsity start last weekend against Continental. He had 11 points and 10 rebounds. Your starting lineups, courtesy of Baker Schindler Company. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're just a couple of minutes away from tipping this one off. It is the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DC TV Sports. Winding down the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. Brent Palpinot saying thank you for joining us tonight on DC TV. Game number 3 for the Bulldogs. 0-2 on the young season. They opened things up back on the 1st at Findlay in a tough 68-39 loss. That was a game where point guard Antonio Lopez dropped 20 points. Then the very next night, a very long, a very lean, and a very athletic Napoleon squad got the better of them by 11. This is their first home game of the season as they fell at Napoleon 56-45. Again tonight, home versus Paulding. Tomorrow night, home versus Rossford. Young head coach Bryn Lehman trying to spur his squad on to their first victory of the season. Likewise, not young, but first-year head coach for Paulding, Logan Stoller. His Panthers are 2-1 with wins over Continental and Eden, and then suffering their first loss earlier this week, home versus Bryan, 68-31. This is their first road game of the season. Next up, tomorrow night, they'll be on a bus heading to Pettisville. Balls put away in the racks. Warm-up jerseys are off. Everybody stretched, limbered up, and at their respective benches as the final seconds of the warm-up have ticked off the clock. The colors being draped at half court, and everybody coming to a stand as we are getting set for the Star-Spangled Banner. Good-looking crowd here this evening. Student body out in full effect. The pep band and the buzzer now sounds. The opening introduction. Good-looking crowd here. Paulding, only about a 15 to 20-minute drive as well. Well represented in the visitors section. 3-man officiating crew finishing their warm-ups and stretches. Nothing left to do but tip this one off. The sportsmanship video running before the national anthem. This started this season during the football season. This fall, also with volleyball. Sportsmanship representatives from each schools meet. Nifty setup here in Defiance with the video board on the east side of the gymnasium. Still young on the season, but we're getting into the teeth of it now as the fall sports schedule is in the books. The winter sports schedule now starting to ramp up. Girls and boys basketball, wrestling, swimming. We'll have plenty of it for you on DCTV as the season wears along. As a matter of fact, our next broadcast will be tomorrow night as Tenora boys will host Napoleon. Then next week, we'll get to that in just a second. Right now, it's time for the national anthem, the Defiance Elks Lodge 147 national anthem. Pep Band doing a great job this evening with the Defiance Elks Lodge number 147 national anthem. We gave you the Baker Schindler Company starting lineups just a couple of minutes ago. We are getting set for the F&M Bank opening tip-off. Defiance in their home whites with the blue lettering and numerals with the blue stripe down the jersey tops and shorts. Paulding in their traveling maroon uniforms with the black lettering and numerals with the white trim. The white stripe down the jersey tops and shorts with the black piping. Well, the front court for Defiance is just a little bit bigger, just a little bit thicker. Now again, the young sophomore for Paulding, Grady Barton, stands in at 6'3" and about 220, but he is still getting his feet wet at the varsity level. On the flip side, Brogan Castillo at 6 foot, but about a good $190. And then again, Khalil Ligon at 6'3", also providing some size. We'll see if Defiance can take advantage of that this evening. Invite you to stick around at the half as the DECA students organize the teddy bear toss here tonight. Fans had a chance to buy a teddy bear as they entered into the foyer. All for good charitable cause. 'Tis the season. Big matchup here this evening. Castillo, the best defender, and they are going to put him on Kane Jones, as Coach Lehman said they feel Jones is maybe an anonymous voice in the chorus, but they anticipate him being a bit more aggressive this evening. Lopez, the best on-ball defender on this roster, and he is most likely going to draw Casey Agler. Agler is the straw that stirs the drink for this Paulding squad. Paulding wants to rebound, fill the lanes, outlet, and run. Defiance will run when the opportunity presents itself, but Coach Lehman told me they would prefer the salsa to be mild this evening. They don't want to get into a track meet and turn it into a helter-skelter type of contest. Final starters being announced. Paulding has broken their team huddle. They're out on the court. They're ready to go. Defiance. Coach Lehman taking every last second before he high-fives his crew. Handshakes pregame. Nothing left to do but tip it off. The opening tip-off, courtesy of F&M Bank. Student body working themselves into a lather. Jones in the center circle for Paulding. Zippel for Defiance. The ball is in the air, and the Panthers win the tip. Roanhouse quickly into the front court. Jones with Castillo on him, and a loose pass, and just like that, first possession, first turnover of the ball game. Slowing it down. Into the middle of the paint. Nifty turnaround jumper. And Khalil Ligon draws first blood. Roanhouse thought about driving, instead skip pass. Agler back into the hands. Crosses over. Boy, he's really working against Zippel. That'll be a fun matchup to watch tonight. Roanhouse stripped. And instead of running, Lopez will just walk it across the timeline. Castillo in the high blocks, gets rid of it. Ligon, nifty drive, 360, and that ball's going to be a little bit short. Long outlet, Barton up the court, lots of contact, no call. He left it short. Castillo wants to run, he's going 1-on-3, leans in, a little too hard off the glass. Heads up play by Jordan Wright to back it out. He'll size up a three. Got it. Five-0 Defiance. Almost 2 minutes into the first quarter. Barton was on the move and wasn't ready for that pass. Another turnover. Their second of the quarter. Good ball reversal by Defiance. Ligon on the drive, comes to a strong jump stop. He's swatted and picked up underneath the cylinder. Jones outlets, a rare opportunity on the fast break for the Panthers. And halfway down, it kicks out for Mans. Zippel, nice baseline drive. Roanhouse got a piece of it. Stop and pop from 18, just a bit short from right. Gain Jones quickly into the front court. Boy, for a big man, Castillo, good footwork to cut him off. Roanhouse, boy, sweet looking stop and pop 15-footer from the elbow. And Paulding, almost 3 minutes into the first quarter, finally in the books. Ligon, and the foul from behind will be called on Grady Barton. Buzzer sounds. We'll have our first substitutions of the evening for the Bulldogs. Logan Hutchinson will check in. Zippa will catch a breather. So will Ligon. Garrett Rodenberger, 6'3" senior, checking in. Oh, nifty post up down low. They lost Castillo, and he scores easily off the glass. Whistle sounds, we've got a foul. Wait and see who this one's called on. Team foul number 1. Foul goes against Logan Hutchinson. Boy, Agler really being pushed out right in his jersey. Jones on the drive, quick hands, Wright stripped him. Johnny on the spot, though, and a little too strong off the glass by Barton. And again, no rush by Wright. Kicks it into a second gear as he crosses half court. Nice baseline move, Castillo. Halfway down, it spits out. Stop and pop, Jones missed everything. He thought he was fouled, and now he's going to hear the chance of air ball from the Defiance student body. Third turnover of the first quarter for the Panthers. Castillo, nice cross-court pass. Good ball movement right now. And from a corner three, that's just great patience, great shot selection, and Antonio Lopez is now the fourth Bulldog in the scorebook, and Coach Stoller wants a 30-second timeout. 3:21 left to go first quarter. Bulldogs up by 8. You're watching Bulldog basketball on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back after that first insurance group timeout. First of the ball game. 10-2. Defiance with the lead after Antonio Lopez just drained a Premier Bank three. 4 of 5 Bulldog starters in the scoring column. And they lead by 8 as Roanhouse trying to hustle. Almost stripped by Hutchinson. And now trapping on the ball out near half court, and Paulding is really being flustered right now. Zippel's checked back in the game as Mance on the drive, and we're going to have a foul. Looks like Ligon will be the guilty party, picking up his first. Team foul number 2. Titus Mance will head to the charity stripe. Drains his first. Mance. Like many of his teammates, getting his feet wet at the varsity level. He's long on this one, and Rodenberger with a strong box out and board. Lead remains 7. Hutchison. Lopez from beyond the arc, cut off by Roanhouse. Zipfel on a nice drive. It's deflected, and here comes Roanhouse. And he gets a little ahead of himself, loses the ball. He's fortunate to maintain it. On the baseline drive, and it's going to be a charge called against Titus Mance. Defiance. I don't want to call him a rarity, but it really is in no rush. Very slow tempo. Hutchinson. Oh, Johnny on the spot right in the middle of the paint, and Brez Zippel now rounds out the starters in the scoring column. All 5 Bulldog starters with at least 1 basket. And just not looking where he's throwing, Jones thought Roanhouse was going to pop. Roanhouse just kind of stayed put. That is the 4th turnover of the first quarter by the Panthers. And they are out of sync right now. Oh, great backdoor cut, great pass. Zippel on the pump fake will head to the charity stripe. Casey Agler picks up his first. It's going to be team foul number 3. Brez Zippel, standout quarterback on the football team, did not play basketball last year, but said it was just driving him nuts to sit and watch from the stands. Elected to come back out his junior year, and his first splits the nylon. Lopez will catch a quick breather. Zippel trying to make good on both his free throws. It's pure. 14-3. Ball inbounds with 2 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Defiance, in particular, Defiance's defense and on-ball defense has been stifling. Stop and pop from the right wing off the heel of the iron. Agler got a good look. Barton, the big burly sophomore post, tracks down the long board. Agler, nifty move, and finishes with the finger roll. Just the second basket. No, he didn't. Check that. It popped out. Roanhouse sees this one pop out. Well, it looked like it was in. Certainly was not. And again, Panthers turned away. And a double dribble going to be called on Hutchinson out in between the circles. Substitution, Logan Castillo will check in for Rodenberger. Coach Lehman has gone 3 deep on his bench here in the early going. 1:10 left to go in the corner. Great anticipation by Castillo on the way and lays it in for a second basket. Points off turnovers. That was number 5 for Paulding. Down by 13. Roanhouse, pump fake on the drive, splits a double team. He'll try and earn it from the line. Logan Hutchinson, the guilty party for the Bulldogs. It's his second. Team foul number 3. Roanhouse to the charity stripe. He's got 2 points tonight. Make it 3. Lopez back into the ball game for Defiance. Hutchinson will catch a breather for the final 51 ticks of the first quarter. Sophomore deep knee bend. Releases. Good rotation. Got them both. Give him 4. He's the leading scorer. He's got all but 1 point for Paulding in the first quarter here. Lopez, pump fake. They're just going to take the time, right? Bullet pass to Zippel. Nice pump fake. Great baseline move, I should say, by Ligon, and he just got ahead of himself and turns it over. The third of the first quarter for the Bulldogs. On-ball defense right now by Lopez. That's tremendous. And forces a turnover. The young sophomore frustrated, looking over at Coach Stoller saying, I was fouled, and he's saying, lock back in and keep playing. No whistle. Lopez crosses over. Nifty move. Comes to a jump stop and throws it away. 4 and 3/10 seconds left to go here first quarter. Dangerous pass. Roanhouse has it. Spots up from about 27 feet. Nothing doing. And we have played through the end of the first quarter of basketball. All Defiance as they lead it by 11, 16-5. Second 8 minutes coming your way when we come back. This is a First Insurance Group timeout. You are watching Defiance Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back from this First Insurance Group timeout. All Bulldogs in the first 8 minutes, 16-5. Let's run down your first quarter stat summary, courtesy of Mark Motes-Ford. Mark Motes-Ford stat summary. All 5 Defiance starters in the scoring column. being led by Brez Zipfel with 4 points. Brogan Castillo also with 4. Antonio Lopez and Jordan Wright with 3. And Khalil Ligon with 2. Not nearly as much to detail for the Panthers. For Paulding, Blake Roanhouse, the young sophomore, with 4 points, a basket, and a couple of free throws. Titus Mance, 1 for 2 from the line in that first quarter. Panthers with 5 turnovers, Bulldogs with 4. As a little bit of a heat check from Ligon. Ball tapped out into the backcourt. Defiance controls. Lopez thought about it. Ligon on the drive into a double team. And, boy, that is a late whistle, and I think it's going against Grady Barton. Yep. Barton picks up his first. And Ligon to the line. Khalil Ligon. Eyes it, sees it rattle home. Ligon entered tonight just 1 of 4 from the charity stripe. So now 2 for 5 on the young season. Trying to get to 50%, he cannot. And the lead remains 12. Roanhouse hustling into the front court. Lopez all over him, and they almost turn it over again. Nice bounce pass down low. Agler wasn't ready. Muscles one up, and instead of a turnover, we may have a foul. It's going to go against Jordan Wright. His first of the quarter as they reset with the new high school rules this season. Basically the days of the old 7 fouls and 1-on-1, double bonus of 10 are over with at the high school level, at least for now, as Agler sees this one rattle in and out. Casey Agler struggling a little bit. Entered tonight's contest averaging 9 points per game. He's played almost every minute of the first 3 contests. He hits on 1 of 2. Mini 1-2-2 half-court press here by the Panthers. Bulldogs break it. Castillo falling down. Did he have some help? Yes, he did. Foul's going to be called against Grayson Harder, 6'3" junior who's in to try and add some size. Nice dribble penetration and a pump fake by Antonio Lopez. We've got a whistle and a scrum for the ball. Lopez picks up his first, team foul number 2. Not quite a minute into the second quarter. Picking up on-ball defense out in between the circles. Almost forcing another turnover. Roanhouse finally gets to it. Jones, who's been incredibly quiet tonight. Nice drive and dish. Roanhouse splits a double team and gets the finger roll. He's got 6 of his team's 8. Bullet pass down low. Castillo just off his fingertips. Around the world, this one will fall. Brogan Castillo with his 6th point of the evening. And we've got a timeout on the floor, a First Insurance Group timeout with 6:24 left to go in the half. Bulldogs up 19-8. You're watching Defiance Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back out of that First Insurance Group timeout. 6:24 left to go in the first half. Defiance 19, Paulding 8. Defiance has been very patient, very even-keeled in their tempo. With the exception of one steal and a breakaway layup by Brogan Castillo, they really have played a half-court game tonight. And their defense has been smothering. Paulding with 5 turnovers in the first quarter. Agler on the drive, tries to bank it in. Ball being tapped around, and Ligon secures it with 2 hands. Good transition D that time by Paulding. 5 purple jerseys back. TJ Kellermeyer is into the ball game for Defiance as we've got a whistle, wave off the shot. Boy, Lopez getting a good low base and picking up the ball at half court. They are frustrating Paulding right now as this one's stolen away by Castillo on the drive around the world, but it falls. Boy, that almost popped out. It tantalized for a while, and Brogan Castillo with 8 of his team's 21 points. Roanhouse crosses over, got ahead of himself. There's a turnover, second in a row. Kellermeyer slows it down. Lopez will launch for 3. Buries it! A premier bank three-pointer. And Defiance now clicking on all cylinders. Lopez with 6 points on the evening, all from beyond the arc. Mance will counter at the other end. Finally takes the lid off the basket. Trying to pick up at half court. Take Defiance out of the rhythm a little bit. Shot, one and done. Roanhouse with a rare fast break opportunity for the Panthers. Mance dishes to the far corner. Agler sizes up a 3. Boy, strong board by Castillo. Not quite halfway through the second quarter here. Ligon will launch from distance. Nice board by Kellermeyer. He's caught underneath the board and now finally kicks it out. Caught in a double team, and jump ball will be the call. The arrow points to Paulding. That'll technically be the first turnover of the second quarter for Defiance. Castillo will catch a breather, as will Kellermeyer. Rodenberger checks back in, as does Wright. Being joined by Zipfel, Ligon, and Lopez. Paulding trailing by 14, trying to jumpstart their offense. Agler into the paint, and Zipfel caught him with the hip. That'll be Brez's second. Hutchison will check in. Spell Jordan Wright. Paulding's bench not quite as deep. Lob pass comes out to Barton. The young sophomore wants to get rid of it. Agler, boy, got in a bit of trouble, and that's just brute strength to take the contact and muscle that off the glass. Lead cut in half. Not for long. Ligon with a nice move. (26-12). Almost a turnover. Somehow Roanhouse saves it. He throws up a circus shot. And Ligon makes it one and done. Low post, Rodenberger kicks it back out. Oh, Lopez, nice pump fake. Nice pass. Great ball movement. Can Ligon finish? He does! With a Premier Bank three-pointer. And that was just textbook ball movement by the Bulldogs. Agler throws it to Coach Lehman. who would love to shoot, but he's out of eligibility. Looking up as we've got a timeout by the Panthers on the court. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout. 2:44 left to go in the half. All Bulldogs, you're watching Defiance Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. .244 left to go in the first half. The scene from Defiance, the host Bulldogs taking it to the visiting Paulding Panthers, 29-12. Paulding just trying to right the ship and see what they can get done, but smothering defense, in particular on the ball, by the Bulldogs has really made life miserable for Paulding through the first almost 16 minutes of this contest. They'll pick up at half court. Lopez will slow it down. He's telling Hutchinson to clear out. I've got it. Crosses over against the double team. Oh, he picked up his dribble across half court, but he does get rid of it. And I believe Coach Lehman, fearing a 10-second violation, calls the timeout, so we'll break with them. 2:34 left to go in the first half. No change in our score. You're watching Bulldogs Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. I think Coach Lehman, fearing the 10-second violation on the half-court trap, decided discretion's the better part of valor. He calls a timeout, and I believe his crew was out of him here, being partially blocked by the scoreboard. 2.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Hutchinson, Ziffel with a nice drive, great ball movement. Open three, and Lopez can't hit this one. It's out of bounds off of Paulding. Well, they're setting up again. Good ball movement. Ligging at the top of the key, but Jones right in his grill. Lopez with a nifty 360 spin move, but decides to release the basketball. Ligging on Jones. Well, that's a dangerous pass. And that's just a little too hot for Lopez to handle. Just the second turnover of the second quarter for the Bulldogs. For the most part, they've taken good care of the basketball. They've got 6 on the evening. Paulding, 5 miscues in the first quarter, 3 so far in the second. Hagler keeping a waist-high dribble, but Ziffel right in his jersey. Lots of congestion outside that arc. And a double dribble on Jones. Again, bringing the defense out farther and farther, and Paulding's just a little uncomfortable right now. Castillo will check in for Rodenberger. Wright will check in. We'll see who he spells. Looks like Hutchinson. Under 2 minutes left to go in the half. Hagler on Lopez. Actually, that was Mance. Loose ball underneath. Last touched by Defiance. Bounce pass on a nice move to the basket by Ligon. Barton didn't want to pick up the foul, but stayed vertical, and that's just a good piece of defense by the young underclassmen. Quick outlet on a rare fast break opportunity. Hagler hard to the iron, They'll make him earn it. Foul on Ligon. It's his second. Agler to the charity stripe. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Agler entering tonight's contest, averaging 9 a game. They have put the clamps on him in the early going. He drains his first. Trying to trim the deficit to 15. He's got them both. He's got 5 on the night. And the second made free throw allows Paulding to come out in some token pressure. Lopez across the timeline. Paulding now trying to give the Bulldogs a dose of their own medicine. Ligon caught in traffic. Zipfel spots up for 3. That's an airmail. And out of bounds. Was Castillo able to? No, he was not. Rodenberger in, Ligon out, most likely for the final 56 ticks of the first half. Agler, dangerous pass to Roanhouse. Barton with a rare post touch. Irons unkind. Well, we'll see if Defiance takes the air out of the ball for the final 30 seconds of the half. Don't get a chance. Jones with a great strip on the move. Great spin, and Castillo with the facial. It would have been easy to watch him go ahead and break away for the uncontested layup, and Castillo hustled back off the inbounds, and that's a great look to Barton. And Paulding's big man is now in the books for the first time. 29-16. We'll see if Defiance works for the final shot. They won't get an opportunity. All of a sudden, a couple of quick turnovers. They've now got 5 for the quarter. Both teams with 9 miscues. Paulding will need to hustle, but undoubtedly will take the final shot of the first half. Agler, nice crossover. Zipfel hits the deck. Loose ball. Battle for it underneath, and it looks like jump ball will be the call. Arrow points to Defiance with just 0.7 of a second left. There's no way they can get a shot off here. Well, technically that's not true since it is over half a second. But it would be very difficult. And they won't even try. Instead, the buzzer sounds. Both teams head to their respective locker rooms with Defiance taking a commanding 13-point advantage into theirs, 29-16. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout. We'll bring you back to the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show, and we'll get you up to date on your stats. Again, Defiance 29, Paulding 16. You're watching Bulldog Boys basketball on DCTV Sports. Back at the half, it is the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us. First home game of the young season for the Defiance Bulldogs boys basketball team. We'll get you a stat summary courtesy of Mark Moats Ford. But before we do so, you're taking a look at what's happening almost at half court. The students are out. Anybody that wanted to purchase a teddy bear on the way in tonight was allowed to do so. This is a halftime charitable event brought to you by the DECA students, the business organization, organizing the teddy bear toss. And look at them go. Somebody's going to get plenty in their Christmas stockings in a couple of weeks, but all for a good cause. Again, the DECA teddy bear toss. Well done, students and student body. As the student section clogging up half court. Now all they need is a broom and a bag to put them in. I don't know. What do you say? All of a sudden, I think our crew is thinking about going down and getting something done. Alex almost dove over the railing here to go grab one. I think he noticed. He's picked one out of his favorites. It looks like the gray one just in front of the cheerleading section. So you never know. Anything's possible. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Mark Moats Ford stat summary through the first half of play. Let's start with taking care of the basketball. Paulding committed 6 turnovers in the first quarter, 5 in the second, for a total of 11 on the game. The defense has just been sticky and in your jersey by Defiance. On the flip side, the Bulldogs with 4 miscues in that first quarter. They were on their way. They're still under 10, but they had 3 straight in the closing seconds of the first half. They have 9 on the evening. So again, taking care of the basketball, my guess is going to be a focal point for both head coaches, Bryn Lehman and Logan Stoller, in their respective locker rooms. Again, slow tempo. Game being played more at the liking of the Bulldogs. Not to say that they won't run if the opportunity doesn't present itself, but Coach Lehman told me during the pregame, he goes, we're not built for that. He goes, we would rather slow it down, run some half-court offense. They are running that 4 in, actually sometimes 2 in and 3 out, depending if they have both Ligon and Castillo in at the same time. On the flip side, the Panthers, very guard-oriented, guard-dominated, and Defiance is just bringing their man-to-man defense out into the jerseys of Casey Agler, Blake Roanhouse, and Kane Jones. And the Panthers have struggled to really get into any type of offense. What we're going to do is take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your Mark Moats Ford stats summary. You're watching the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Again, Defiance 29, Paulding 16. It's Bulldog boys basketball on DCTV Sports. Boy, it wasn't a particularly long halftime break for Defiance. We've got 4 minutes left to go before the start of the third quarter, and the Bulldogs are already out and on the court for an extended shoot-around. No sign of Paulding right now as Coach Stoller still talking to his charges. Let's break it down for you. The Mark Moats Ford stat summary as follows. We gave you the turnovers for both teams in that last segment. Let's focus on points here in this one. First for the visiting Paulding Panthers. They have been led by sophomore guard Blake Roanhouse. He had 4 points in the first quarter, held to just 1 basket from the floor in the second 8 minutes. He still leads all of his teammates with 6 points. Casey Agler, the point, 5 points on the evening, 3 of 4 from the charity stripe, 1 basket from the floor. He averages 9 a ball game. They have held him in check through the first 16 minutes. Rounding it out for the Panthers, Titus Manns, He's got 3 points on the evening, 1 basket from the floor, 1 of 2 from the charity stripe. And their big center, Grady Barton, the sophomore, has had his hands full with the Twin Towers, Brogan Castillo and Khalil Ligon. He has just 1 basket on a nicely drawn up inbounds play where he was moving toward the basket. On the flip side, all 5 Bulldogs starters in the scoring column. And there's balance here tonight. Khalil Ligon, 9 points. He had just 2 at the end of the first quarter. He scored 7 in the second quarter. He's got 9. Brogan Castillo showing some good defense, also working hard down low. He's got 8 points. 6 points on a pair of 3 balls. A pair of Premier Bank 3-pointers for Antonio Lopez. Brez Ziffel with 4 points, 1 basket from the floor, and a couple of free throws all in the first quarter. And Jordan Wright, a 3-ball as well to round out the scoring for Defiance. And as I do a quick cursory check of my scorebook, let's do a quick correction. It is 8 points for Ligon. 8 points, not 9 for Ligon. So he and Castillo both lead the charge for Defiance with 8 points apiece. As Paulding now out of their locker room, they'll get about a 2-minute shoot around before we resume play for quarter number 3. Next up for both these teams, they don't get much of a breather. Back on different courts tomorrow night. The Panthers will catch another bus ride to Pettisville. They will either be 3-1 or 2-2. The Bulldogs right back here on their home court after being on the road for their first 2 contests of the season. They will welcome Rossford. The only question is, will they pick up their first win of the young season? Third quarter, when we come back, you've been watching the Midwest Community Credit Federal Credit Union halftime show. Defiance up by 13. You're watching Bulldog Boys basketball on DCTV Sports. Final 10 seconds of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. Ticking off the clock here at Defiance. Third 8 minutes about to be plastered up on the clock. And to start the second half, it looks like the same starting 5 that began the game for Defiance. Lopez, Wright, Ziffel, Ligon, and Castillo. Likewise, same starting 5 that took the court to begin the game for Paulding as they will inbound. They will have the ball to begin the second half. Agler, Roanhouse, Mance, Jones, and Bart. Roanhouse will inbounds. Agler. Boy, he has been smothered all night. It's 4-on-4. That's the number 4. Ziffel has drawn him defensively. Jones being much more aggressive off the drive to open up the second half, but he leaves it short. He's triple teamed and in all kinds of trouble. Gets rid of it. The shot is long, and Ligon now makes it one and done. Lopez skips into the front court. Castillo posting up strong. That ball might have been partially blocked. Roanhouse wants to run. Sophomore. Nice stutter step. Big man shooting a 3 from the far corner. That almost bounced over the backboard, and we've got a whistle. And I think it did. Good crowd on hand here this evening. First home game of the season for Defiance. 1-2-2, 3-quarter court. Zone press. Bulldogs break it. Stutter stepping. Nobody picks him up. Why not? Smart decision by Jordan Wright. He's got 5 on the evening. Open look. Mance elects to drive and can't get the roll. Roanhouse with good hustle, and he'll jack up a 3. Ziffel finally secures it. Right, nice crossover. Lopez didn't want the three, and he's tied up. The arrow stays with the Bulldogs. Lopez will be the trigger man on the baseline. Defiance has been patient this evening offensively. Castillo blows by the young sophomore and misses the bunny. We got a good look. Just one basket so far between these two teams to open up the second quarter as we're 2 minutes into the second half. Barton got a little too deep. That ball bounced off the side of the backboard. Heads up by Mance. Keep it alive. A little pinball underneath, and it's out of bounds off Zipfel. Jones sizing up Castillo. He'll put it on the floor. Good footwork by the Defiance center. And stepping out of bounds. Nope, it's going to be a foul. Foul will be called against Wright, his second. Boy, a little contact, a little love tap by Zipfel, no call. Agler had to get rid of it. Now he's open on a nice cut from the basket. They're going to call him for a charge. Wave off the basket. Wow. Great defense. Agler thought he'd made a nifty move, and he did, but wave off the basket, and he gets called for his second foul as salt in the wound. What the stoppage of play will do is allow Paulding to come out. Looks like in a 2-1-2. Full court now, zone press. And Lopez breaks it. Right. Boy, they're extending their defense now beyond the arc. Nice pass to Ligon. Leans in, a little too strong. Castillo wants to take anybody on. Kicks it out. Boy, Lopez thought about a heat check. That would have been probably about 25, 26 feet. High blocks, Castillo. That's a 15-footer. Can't find the range. Roanhouse with a dangerous pass. Ball might have been deflected, and Johnny on the spot. Grady Barton is there for the baby hook shot. Boy, threading a needle. Zipfel. Right, didn't want the open three. Instead, he'll drive and stop. That was partially deflected. Castillo active without the basketball. He's now in double figures tonight with 10. On the drive, Zipfel thought he was set. He was not. Brez will pick up, I think that's his third. Nope, just his second. Rodenberger and Hutchison in. Zipfel and Ligon out. The inbounds trying to tiptoe staying inbounds Castillo, and instead it's going to be a foul. Agler now picks up his third. Logan Stoller has not gone very deep on the bench tonight, just Grayson Harder. But his starting point guard is in some foul trouble now. We're not even halfway through the third quarter. Lopez with a nice spin move. Kind of got knocked off his base as he got into the paint. Right, good baseline move. Jones with good help side D. Long three by Lopez. Little string music. Antonio Lopez with another Premier Bank three-pointer. He's got 9 points, all from beyond the arc. Quick basket at the other end by Paulding. Allows them to come out in full court pressure. Rodenberger, nice job in the high blocks. It's short. Barton secures it with one hand. Agler with a 360 spin move. Bodies flying everywhere. The big man wants a three. He can't hit. Defiance's other big man, Rodenberger, with a strong board. Baseline cut. Rodenberger thought Lopez was ready, and that's a turnover. Jones cut off. Under 3 left to go here, third quarter. Barton with a rare post touch. One pass too many. Somehow they save it and stay in bounds. And Agler will go hard to the iron. Are they going to count it? Yes! And one coming. Lopez, the guilty party for Defiance. Agler with a chance to complete the three-point play. Unable to. Nice drive down the middle of the paint. The only thing that Hutchinson didn't do was finish. Lopez. What do we got here? A whistle. And I'm not sure what the issue is. They have a fan on the court by chance? Not sure. Under 2.5 left to go, third quarter. Lopez, check that was right. Off a Rodenberger screen, he rolls. Can't find him. Lopez, does he have a fourth in him? He does not. Roadhouse wanting to run, but good transition D by Defiance. Agler on the drive. Oh, what a beautiful spin move, and finishes with the left hand. That is highlight reel material. And he's hit his game average now at 9. Rodenberger, nobody picks him up, and he'll go all the way in. Those are the first bench points of the evening for either team. And we've got a timeout on the floor. We'll take a First Insurance Group timeout with a $1:42 left to go, third quarter. Defiance 38, Paulding 24. You're watching Bulldog Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. Minute 42 left to go in the third quarter. Paulding has shown a little bit of grit here in the third quarter, but Defiance has played even ball with them and a little bit then some. Paulding was, let's see, 8 second half points. Defiance with 9. Ligon and Rodenberger. That is a burly front court for Defiance, joined by Hutchison, Kellermeyer, and Lopez. For Paulding, your 5. Caden Williams is in the ball game along with Agler. Off a Jones screen. Barton. And Roanhouse will take a 3. No luck. Agler working against Lopez. Boy, getting physical, and they're going to call Lopez for a second foul. Rodenhouse with a contested shot. Rodenberger elects, I should say, to board it rather than let it go out of bounds. And Rodenhouse with a foul out near half court. Blake Rodenhouse with his second. Coming up on a minute left to go in the quarter. A little crossover, Wright kicks it into a second gear, and he's fouled from behind. Foul will go against Titus Mans. It will send Wright to the charity stripe. He's got 5 on the evening. And he stays at 5. He'll try and drain his second. Couple of dribbles. He's long on this one. Jones boards. We'll see if Paulding elects to take the air out of the ball here with about 50 seconds left in the third quarter. Right now, just trying to get the offense running. That on-ball pressure is giving him fits. Nice move by the sophomore. Grady Barton with a drop step into the paint and finishes strong. Pulls them within 12, and they'll come out in that 2-on-2 zone press. Now the question begs, does Defiance want to take the air out of the ball? It looks like they may. Wright really being dogged. Ligging right back to him. I figure probably with about 7 or 8 seconds, you'd want to put your offense in motion, and they're getting close to it. Instead, Wright's picked up the ball. 8, 7. They got to do something. Kellermeyer for 3. In and out. Follows his shot. 2 seconds. Will he get one off? It's out of bounds at the buzzer, and 3 quarters are in the books. Defiance by a dozen, 38-26 over Paulding. They'll put the final 8 minutes up on the scoreboard clock. We'll have it for you when we come back out of this first Insurance Group timeout. You're watching Defiance Bulldog Boys basketball on DCTV Sports. Final 8 minutes being put up on the scoreboard clock. We welcome you back to Defiance. Host Bulldogs leading the Paulding Panthers by a dozen. 38-26. Defiance looking for their first win on the young season. Their first 2 games, both on the road. Tough losses at Findlay a weekend ago on Friday, 68-39. Then the very next night at Napoleon, 56-45. On the flip side, Paulding, 2-1. This is their first road game of the season as they defeated Continental 50-24. The very next night, Eden in a low-scoring game, 40-34, and then lost midweek to Bryan, 68-31. Rodenhouse on the drive. Jones with a nifty pump fake. Double clutches in midair and gets the roll. Kane Jones, amazingly, his first points of any kind this evening. Jones has been averaging 7 a ball game. Castillo splits a double team. That's a strong move. Brogan Castillo now with 12 on the evening. Agler right into Zipfel. Zipfel, for the most part, has shut down Paulding's point guard tonight. Jones with an open 3. It's long. Rodenberger doing battle with Zipfel, and Zipfel says get rid of it. Still coming in on that 2-1-2, now picking up more at half court, and that's a turnover. Jones with the 2-on-1. Agler lays it up and in. Well, they're making it interesting. They pulled it within 10 points. And continuing the on-ball pressure. Plenty of time in this game, but if you are Paulding, you basically need a defensive stop every trip down the court. Zipfel on the floor into a double team. Oh, nifty move by Castillo. Beautiful stop and pop jumper. Just a bit long. And Hutchinson, one of the smallest players on the court, outleaps everybody for the board. Rodenberger, boy, that was a nifty pass, but it's off of Zipfel. But look at Rodenberger continuing to play strong, and I think a timeout being called by Coach Lehman. Little helter-skelter to start the fourth quarter. We'll take a break with them. Defiance has seen their lead trimmed to 10. 5:52 left to go in the ballgame. You're watching Bulldog Boys basketball on DCTV Sports. Things getting just a bit frenetic, especially for Coach Bryn Lehman's tastes. Electing to burn a timeout as his team's lead has now been cut to 10, 40-30. Still plenty of time left to go in this game at 5:52. And Paulding realizing if they're going to get back into it, they're going to have to ratchet up the defensive intensity. Defiance all night has been extremely patient, have not rushed. Very disciplined. Good shot selection, making the extra pass. They have been efficient. And just like that, drawing it up on the inbounds play, Ligon with his 10th point of the evening. Spotting up, Agler for three. Ligon makes it one and done on the weak side. Got to be careful. Can't make a lazy pass. He does. It's a turnover, and they make him pay as Mance lays it in. Double teaming the ball. Zipfel will bring it into the front court. Boy, almost struck his pivot foot. Castillo tries to muscle up against the double team. Another turnover. Jones on the drive, and he got a little help out of bounds. And a travel. Lopez, I'm not sure what he was looking at. Whew. Just kind of a mental breakdown. That is the fourth turnover of the fourth quarter for Defiance. The inbounds. Barton going up strong, and he draws the contact. Ligon has just picked up his third. Grady Barton has been more aggressive here in the second half. He's got 6 on the night and an opportunity to add 2 more from the charity stripe and cut the deficit for the first time in this ball game to single digits. And he can't do so on his first. Well, important here not just to add to the score, but if he makes it, it will allow Paulding to come out on that full court pressure. Second is on the way, no good. Did we have a lane violation? Or do we have a foul? Violation of the call. Timeout being taken by Coach Stoller. 4:57 left to go in the contest. We'll break with them. Defiance up by 10. You're watching Bulldog Boys basketball on DCTV Sports. Well, it was a full timeout being called by Logan Stoller. Talking things over with his squad. They have pulled back to within 10. They had 2 opportunities to cut the deficit to single digits and have been unable to. Defiance trying to grind out the last 4 minutes and 57 seconds. And if they can do so, pick up their first win of the season. To do so, they're going to have to take care of the basketball. Unofficially, I have them for 4 turnovers through almost the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. Now, part of that, tip your cap to Paulding, as they've continued to come out in full court pressure. And even once they've gotten the ball across half court, they've gotten right into the jersey of whoever has the orange. Rez Zippel talking with the official. He should be able to run the baseline here. He'll inbound to Lopez. He's going backwards. Somebody's got to come help him. Wright does, and now breaks it. They've got a 3-on-2. Ligon leans in, and that's how you break the press. Back up to a 12-point lead. Mance with the big man Barton coming out at the top of the key. Roanhouse has it deflected out of bounds. Agler cut off by Zippel. Roanhouse has been a bit gun-shy here in the second half, and Lopez is right out on him. He'll cross him over. Great help defense by Ligon. Great ball reversal by Paulding, and they leave the bunny short. Mance had a wide open look, and now he's going to be guilty of fouling, or is Roanhouse going to be called from the floor? Or do we just have it playing out of bounds? Looks like that will be the call. Into the front court, Lopez slowing it down as he's got it at the top of the key. And he faked a 3, but right now Defiance can milk a little clock. Right into the middle of the paint, and nifty teardrop gets it to fall. Jordan Wright with 7 on the evening. And that lead back up to 14 for the Bulldogs. Agler on the drive. Well, in the NBA, you'd get continuation, but not here. Ziff will be the guilty party here. He's picked up his 3rd, team's 2nd. They're calling the foul on the floor. Agler working against Zippel, who we thought he had him tied up. 3:20. Paulding taking some time here. Precious seconds ticking off the clock. Great defense by Defiance, and that'll be a turnover. Just never let them get comfortable that trip down the court. Wright gets rid of it. Zippel, extra pass. Castillo lays it in. 14 on the evening for the Defiance big man, but credit Zippel with the nifty assist. Now under 3 minutes left to go in the game. And timeout being called by Coach Stoller. We'll break with them on a First Insurance Group timeout. 2:46 left to go. Defiance in control. You're watching Bulldog Boys basketball on DCTV Sports. We have hit crunch time. 2:46 left to go in the ball game. Defiance They got a push by Paulding late in the third quarter. On 2 occasions, the Panthers had an opportunity to cut the deficit to single digits. They were unable to, and Defiance has responded, now up by 16. Well, Defiance has already scored more tonight with 2:46 left to go in the ball game than they have in either of their first 2 ball games. Only able to muster 39 in the season opener at Findlay. And then last Saturday, only 45 in an 11-point loss to Napoleon. Barton in the high blocks. That ball is deflected. And that's just the second turnover of the fourth quarter for the Panthers. But they can't afford any right now, down by 16. Ziffel, smart move to kick it back out. Ligon with a pump fake. He's going to take the shot. Doesn't get the roll. Long board kicks out. I believe it's going to be out of bounds off the Bulldogs. Let's wait and see. Yep. Lopez the last to touch it. Way off the screen, Ziffel staying strong. Agler caught in the middle of the trees, and Ligon thought it was clean. The official did not. That's the big man's 4th. Agler with the clock stopped, trying to cut in the deficit. He does. He's had himself a strong second half. It's his 7th point. He's got 12 on the night. Looking for number 13. He's got it, and undoubtedly the Panthers will come out in their full court press. Now into the 2-minute mark. Right, nice job to bring it across the timeline. He's going to go all the way in. Not sure if Coach Lehman wanted that, although it was point blank. Great defense by Castillo, laying out, really harassing Jones. Barton with a nice pump fake. Give him 2 off the square. Grady Barton with 8 on the night. Paulding just won't go away. Ziffel across the timeline. No need to push it here. Although he's going to go up with the spin move and finishes with the nifty hook. Whereas Ziffel was 6 on the evening. Agler. Boy, he's found his rhythm, but for Coach Stoller and company, just a little too late. Right across half court. It's 2-on-1. Nice pump fake by Castillo, and he's having himself a night. He's got 16. Long 3 by Agler. Barton doing battle with Ziffel, out of bounds. I believe it's going to remain Panther basketball. Jones, almost a fadeaway 3. Nice job by Wright to bring down the 2-handed board. He's putting on a little bit of a dribbling clinic, and that wasn't necessary. Coach Lehman just kind of bites his lower lip. At that point, I know it would be nice to get the breakaway 2-on-1 layup. But if you also pull it out and dribble, they're either going to foul you or they're going to concede. Mance kicks it into a second gear. Roanhouse, long 3, he hits. A premier bank 3. Those are Roanhouse's first points of the second half. Down by 11, they'll dribble out the final 2 seconds. Lopez waits for the buzzer to sound, and Defiance has their first win of the season using a little home cooking, 52-41 over Paulding. The Panthers now fall to an even 500 at 2-2. Handshake lines and a whole lot more. We'll try and get our stats together. Up next, it's the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Defiance Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. Out of that first Insurance Group timeout, we welcome you back to the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Brent Balbinot saying thanks for joining us, doing a quick cursory check of my scorebook, trying to get the final stats. Granted, these are unofficial, but I believe, according to the board, my book is matching up with what they're posting. What we can tell you is Defiance survived 4 early turnovers in that fourth quarter. Paulding cut the deficit to 10, and on 2 separate occasions, back-to-back, with an opportunity to get to within single digits, they were unable to. And on the flip side, Defiance just ground this one down. And as I look down at my speed book, just 2 bench points between both teams. It came on a basket in the third quarter by Garrett Rodenberger. Otherwise, all the scoring done tonight by both team starters. Let's start with the visiting Paulding Panthers. Casey Agler had a slow start, but he had a tremendous second half, scoring 10 of his 15 points to lead the charge for Paulding. Blake Roanhouse, just 1 basket, a 3-pointer in the second half after scoring 6. He finishes with 9. 8 points for sophomore center Grady Barton, 5 for Titus Mance, and just 2 for Kane Jones. And that is a great job defensively by Brez Zippel, because Kane Jones came into this one averaging 9 points per ball game. On the flip side for the Bulldogs, plenty of balance. We'll break it down for you, but let's take another break here. This is the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. You're watching Bulldog Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. The Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show continues as the pep band walking them off the court here this evening. Defiance 52, Paulding 41. Bulldogs pick up their first win of the season against 2 losses. Panthers suffering their second straight loss in their first road game as they now fall to an even 500 at 2-2. We broke down the Panthers scoring totals for you. Let's do so for the Bulldogs. A pair of Bulldog players in double figures. Brogan Castillo leading the charge with 16. Can't have a more balanced offensive output than 8 points in the first half, 8 in the second half. Khalil Liggum finishes with 12. 9 points from starting point guard Antonio Lopez, and all came from beyond the arc. He hit 3 Premier Bank three-pointers. Jordan Wright was 7, and Brez Zippel primarily on the court for his defense tonight and doing a tremendous job on Casey Agler early. Zippel finishes with 6 points, as we mentioned, the only bench points for either team tonight coming at the hands of Garrett Rodenberger. So with that win, Defiance now 1-2. We'll take our final break of the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on it. You're watching Defiance Boys Basketball on DCTV Sports. So we're back to put a wrap on the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. We've got one piece of unfinished business to take care of. Time for our player of the game, and there are several that we could go with. We've got two players in double figures, one just a point away from it. Antonio Lopez did a great job of directing traffic. Brez Ziffa with a tremendous defensive performance. But Brogan Castillo, 8 points in the first half, 8 points in the second half. The finish was 16. He might have been flirting with a double-double tonight. Don't have rebound statistics, but he certainly cleaned the glass and played some tremendous defense tonight. One in particular, a great steal out around the free throw line in the first half, a breakaway layup. He was all over the court this evening. So congratulations going out to Brogan Castillo, our Steckmain Automotive Group Player of the Game. That's going to do it for our broadcast here this evening. We do want to remind you to join us tomorrow night as we will be at Tenora as Tenora welcomes Napoleon. For our entire crew this evening, Alex Hulse, Will Hancock, John Adkins, I'm Brent Balbinot, thanking you, the fan, for tuning in, as well as all of our underwriters. Defiance gets their first win of the season tonight, 52-41. You've been watching Bulldog Boys basketball on DC TV Sports.